I'm here with Andy Wiechman today, who is currently getting his master's in petroleum engineering. And we're just going to talk about some safety on oil rigs today. And I'm just going to dive just right on in. Now, my first question for you is, being someone who is going down a dangerous job path, what is that risk-reward relationship like for you?
There is obvious danger because you're dealing with high pressures, but I wouldn't call it a risk. I would say that you're understanding, because you're constantly bringing in data, you're constantly learning, because how we drill wells today compared to what we did in the 50s, they're astronomically safer today than what they are. Even though we did have the incident in Quinton, Oklahoma, there are human errors, and people can get kind of cocky, put their experience instead of kind of what's really happening. And that's kind of what you saw with the deal in Oklahoma, kind of what you saw with the BP Macondo blowout. But I mean, the main thing is I don't know, just don't. You got to put safety above everything. There are obvious risks, there are obvious dangers, but it's really trying to kind of hone that in. And when there's anything kind of fishy, kind of hold on, sit down, talk about it, see what you can do, see what your options are, rather than just kind of going full bore and kind of avoiding a lot of these.
So what is the differences between the old rigs versus the new rigs that are making them so much safer?
Well, so the newer rigs, you're going to see a lot more top drives, which I don't know if that means anything to you, but back in the day, well, they used to drill wells with horses and just manual labor, like horses just running around trying to turn a drill bit. But then in the 50s, they're using more rotary rigs where you got kind of on the floor, you got a deal that's going to rotate with kind of your bushing. And then the dangerous part about that one is to kind of, because you got two pipes and you have to make the connection from one to the other, it would be them throwing chain, because you throw that chain bites onto that drill pipe, and then you're able to spin it around. But when you do that, that's when people lose fingers, lose hands, lose arms. But that's basically been, I don't know, completely eliminated. So from the 50s to now, I mean, you're not throwing chain. They actually have rigs that are almost 100% automated. So rather than having, say, 8 or 10 guys needing to be out there to run a rig, now you have 4, and you got one guy that's in the driller's chair, you got maybe a tool pusher that's kind of walking around, you got a guy on the mud pits, and so there's not really many people on the rig floor that are in the way of a bunch of hazards. They're kind of out of kind of the danger zone.